Good morning. Bill Thompson for Outside Insiders. It's just after 8 o'clock on Sunday morning in Melbourne. I I struck it lucky. I happened to be standing near the footpath leading to the entrance to the ABC when I saw a gentleman approaching with a wheeled piece of luggage. And I thought it might be one of the journos who's appearing on the Insiders program this morning. Jacob him before, so I wasn't sure when I saw him that it was the gentleman that I was looking for. And I asked the fellow, "Are you Jacob?" And he said yes. So I introduced myself and started what I hoped was an outside insider's interview. It turned out that my GoPro let me down on this occasion, and I didn't get any footage, but I had seen an article in the Fin Review by Jacob saying that he had bought himself a new Tesla. And so I asked Jacob this morning if indeed he did have a new Tesla, and he confirmed that. And I said, "I assume you drove it down from Canberra, or did you fly?" And he said, no, I flew." And I said, "Oh, so emitting CO2 via flying from Canberra is not a problem for people who own Teslas, while the rest of us have to travel by public transport or less fuel guzzling avenues." And he said, well, he does a lot of walking, and then he asked me where I was from, and I said, well, I live around the corner, so my carbon footprint is much lower than yours. But I've only got this, my memories as the evidence of this. When I download the GoPro later, I'll see whether in fact I did record anything, but I suspect not. So either the technology let me down, or I let the technology down this morning. And I'll hope for better results later in the day. Bill Thompson for Outside Insiders. Good morning, Bill Thompson for Outside Insiders. It's about 11:15 on Sunday morning. I've been waiting for about 45 minutes to see if any of the studio guests who are on Insiders might emerge to make their way back home again, but no luck so far, and I'm going to take the rest of the day off. I had been hoping to have a chance to chat with Karen Middleton or Jacob Greber, who were on the program. Patricia Cavalis was also on the program, but she works in this building for the ABC, and I presume travels to and from work possibly by her own car and parks in the underground garage. But no one's emerged, so I'm going to call it quits. But I had hoped to have asked the journos about the extensive discussion on the program this morning about the Robo-Debt Royal Commission. And I think the coverage went on for, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes at least, if not longer. And it's obviously an awful political and bureaucratic screw-up. But what I was going to ask the journos was, it pales into insignificance compared to the effect of the COVID pandemic, which destroyed the Australian economy for much of the last 3 years, and has so far killed about 19,500 people in Australia out of the approximately 7 million that it's killed around the world. And I wondered why there wasn't any discussion on the program today about the recent report that the director of the FBI, Mr. Ray, has revealed that the FBI thinks the most likely source of the pandemic was the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which of course was suggested 3 years ago by various commentators on the internet, but they were howled down by the political class and the media class and so-called experts, including Anthony Fauci, who, according to reports from way back 3 years ago and more detailed reports more recently, was involved in the transfer of US taxpayer dollars via an intermediary to the very Wuhan Institute of Virology to take part in gain-of-function research, which may well have been the initial source of the bloody pandemic that's killed 7 million people globally. Anyway, I'd hope to be able to ask the journos why they thought there was no discussion of that particular aspect of news on the program today. Nor was there any discussion about the recent report that China is apparently building 2 new coal-fired power stations every week, while the media and the politicians are spewing about the possibility of Australia continuing to use coal as a source of generation of electricity in Australia, and they can't wait to close down our coal-fired power stations, whilst China is commissioning 2 new ones per week. And of course China is the world's biggest CO2 emitter and emits more CO2 than the rest of the developed world put together. But none of these journos and the ABC in general seem to give a rat's ass about that aspect of things. Bill Thompson for Outside Insiders.